What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, today we're going to talk about something that may save you from a major headache. If you've been thinking about relocating down to Lighthouse Point, stick around and find out some of the things. You know what? It's a beautiful area, but it's not all sunshine and roses here in this little boater's paradise. There are some things that you're going to want to know and you're going to need to know before going ahead and making that big jump to relocate down to Lighthouse Point. So, stick around, hear the good, some of the bad, and also some of the things you just really need to know. This is coming from folks that we know that have moved here, coming from folks that we know that have left here, and also some of the things that we've uncovered ourselves by doing a lot of videos. And check out some of our other videos on Lighthouse Point.
All right, let's get to it now.
First and foremost, it's the high cost of housing, the high cost of living down in Lighthouse Point. Lighthouse Point is a much higher cost of living, okay? And housing costs being the number one contributor to it. I'm talking about expensive properties and high property taxes. And of course, we would, none of our videos would be complete if we didn't mention the high cost of insurance. Okay? So basically, Lighthouse Point is not your average area. And real estate prices here have just been going through the roof. Single family homes in Lighthouse Point average about $2 million. And that's been holding rather steady in Lighthouse Point. On top of that, you have the associated real estate taxes, you have the associated insurance costs. Now, you kind of keep this and take this all in consideration, because Lighthouse Point is only about 3.2 square miles. As a matter of fact, there's more canals than there are roads here in Lighthouse Point. This Lighthouse Point is a boater's paradise. So, in order to have that access to going out to the intercoastal and ultimately going out to the Atlantic Ocean, okay, you're going to pay for it. Okay, you're going to pay for it because most every property that's on the perimeter of Lighthouse Point is waterfront property, and with the canals that are cutting through Lighthouse Point, okay, it's going to be a lot of waterfront property, more expensive than non-waterfront property. Now, for those of you that are thinking about renting before buying here in Lighthouse Point, okay, it's another little piece of information that you're going to need to know. There's not a whole heck of a lot of rental options here in Lighthouse Point. Lighthouse Point is predominantly single-family homes, and the turnover rate of those single-family homes is not very high, as evidenced by the fact that you don't see a whole lot of sales activity going on. Now, there are some condos and there are some condo and apartment options, but there's not a whole lot of them. The other thing is that, if you've seen some of our other videos on real estate investment, you'll notice that we do a lot of videos on short-term rentals. Short-term rentals in the condo market don't exist here in Lighthouse Point. It's just not zoned for that. So there are very limited rental options here in Lighthouse Point. Folks, reason number 3, that you need to be looking at things in Lighthouse Point is traffic congestion. Now, as we pointed out earlier on, okay, there's actually more canal space, more canal moving than there is roads here. There's only about 2 miles worth of roads. So things are going on in Lighthouse Point. You can get major traffic congestion. The roads aren't very wide either. folks, reason 4 is basically the hurricane risk. I mean, Lighthouse Point, it's a little coastal city. It's on a coastal town. It's on the intercoastal. As a matter of fact, it's on the intercoastal waterway. And having hurricane damage is a lot higher here in Lighthouse Point than it is further west out going towards Pompano or going towards Coral Springs or Coconut Creek. Hurricanes are a much bigger risk here in Lighthouse Point. You need to keep that in mind.
Sinkholes are a common occurrence in Florida, including Lighthouse Point. Sinkholes in karst terrain principally from the collapse of surface sediments into underground voids and cavities in the limestone bedrock. There are some causes of sinkholes in Lighthouse Point. You could have a water main break, you could have wastewater spills, heavy rainfall, changes in the groundwater levels, or changes in the water table. It's also important to know that sinkholes can happen anywhere in Florida due to the state's geology, and they can cause a tremendous amount of structural and foundational damage.
So folks, one thing you need to keep in mind is that Lighthouse Point is a residential community. There's not a whole lot of entertainment options. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not close to other areas, for example, Deerfield Beach and whatnot, but you don't have a whole lot of entertainment options right here in Lighthouse Point that's easy to get to. You're gonna have to get in your car, get in your little golf cart, and you're gonna have to cruise around a little bit to go find some of those entertainment options. So,
or go by boat. You can go to Fort Lauderdale.
By all means, you can go by boat, go head on down to Lauderdale or head on up to Deerfield Beach or Boca. Reason number 6, folks, okay, that the Lighthouse Point, it's not very walkable. And now, I mean, there are sidewalks that you can walk on up and down through the neighborhoods and whatnot, but from the standpoint of being able to walk to the grocery store, walk to any place else, walk to a restaurant or walk to any of the bars or anything, Lighthouse Point is not a very walkable city. As a matter of fact, I believe the walkability score is in the 20s. So folks, reason number 7 is that Lighthouse Point is not very diverse. Now, that's not to say anything's wrong, but what's going on is most of the homes in Lighthouse Point, there, as I said, the majority of them are single-family homes. They've been in families for years and in some cases generations, so there hasn't really been an opportunity for any kind of diversity to set in, okay? But, it's just something you need to be aware of. If you're looking for a neighborhood that's got a lot of diversity, Lighthouse Point may not be the neighborhood for you. Well, there you have it, folks. The 7 things that you need to be aware of and you need to be cognizant of before you make your decision to relocate to Lighthouse Point. So if you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to drop us a note, give us a call. You can go ahead and shoot us a little text, give us a little email. You can certainly click on the Calendly link to set up a time where we can chit-chat, okay? And if you would, don't forget to subscribe, okay, and click the bell so you get notified whenever we drop a new video out. And please, please, please provide feedback to us. We want to hear it, good, bad, and otherwise. If it's great feedback, terrific, we love it. If there's something that you'd like to see or something that you have a question about, let us know so that we can make sure that we update everybody and make sure that we're as candid as we can be.
And would you like to live in Lighthouse Point? Comment below.